Hey, what's up? It's Joey for Digital DJ Tips, and right now I've got two speakers from the Behringer Nekkst line for review. This is the Behringer Nekkst K8, and over here we've got the Behringer Nekkst K5. Now in this short video, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the features of both of these speakers, and in the end, I'm going to tell you what I like about them and what I don't. Now I've got a full in-depth review of both of these speakers over at the Digital DJ Tips website, so I highly recommend that you check that review out soon as you're done watching this video. The link is in the description box below. So with that said, let's take a closer look at these two speakers. The Behringer Nekkst series was designed by Keith R. Clarter, who happens to be the founder of KRK, a really cool monitor speaker brand. They're the ones with the yellow speaker cones that you see in a lot of YouTube videos and recording studios, bedroom studios, and even some commercial facilities around the world. So you can expect to see some really cool innovations baked into these speakers. One of those innovations is this 1-inch tweeter that features an advanced waveguide technology. Basically what it does is it widens the sweet spot in your monitoring position. So what that means is it's easier to find a good listening spot when you're sitting in front of a pair of these speakers. Now below that tweeter, you've got an 8-inch woofer for the K8 and a 5-inch woofer for the K5. At the bottom of either unit, you've got your front-facing bass port, which minimizes the bass buildup when you have these speakers near a wall or in a corner. The backs of the K8 and the K5 are identical, so let's just focus on the K8. The Behringer Nekkst series comes with controls that allow you to fine-tune the speakers so that they can suit your taste and your room. The first switch here is called high frequency, and it lets you boost or cut the highs depending on, again, your room and your taste. Right now I've got it set to -2 because I found the tweeters to be a little bit too bright, so I've set it there, just a little bit of a roll off. If you like bright sounding speakers, you can set it, you can just leave it at 0, or if you are in a really dead sounding room, you've got a lot of carpet, you've got a lot of curtains, you can even boost it by 2 dB just by moving the switch. Now below that, you've got your low frequency switch, which adapts the speaker if you're using the K10 subwoofer or another subwoofer, or if you want to emulate how your music would sound like going through a smaller sound system. So you can just switch this all the way to -6 dB. The final switch is called room compensation, and it dips frequencies that get boosted when you've got the speaker up against the wall. As in this case, you can dip it by -2 dB or -4, or if you've got your speakers up against a corner, in which case you move it to the -6 dB position. When I used it, I just had it like freestanding in the middle of the room, no problem, so I just left it at 0. Now below that, you've got your input trim if you want to lower or increase the gain of the signal that's coming in, and below you've got your input matrix. You've got balanced 1/4-inch jack here, balanced XLR, and an unbalanced RCA input if you want to connect your DJ controller or DJ mixer. Over here, you've got your power switch, and finally, your power socket at the bottom. Now what I really like about these speakers is their mid-range response. Synthesizers, vocals, snare drums, these things just sort of jump out of the speaker without getting too much in your face. So if you listen to a lot of chart music, dance music, pop, even some rock and guitar-oriented stuff, you're gonna love the way that these sound, especially the K8. I felt the K5 sounded a little bit restrictive, but only because the woofer is a little bit smaller, well, compared to this one. But with that said, the difference is very minimal, and both of them sound good in the mids. Now what I didn't like about them is their highs. I felt like the tweeters were a little bit too bright. Again, I'm not a fan of overly bright speakers or headphones, and I prefer them a little bit warm. So when I plug these in and listen to some music on them, after like the first minute, I felt like, I had to roll them down a little bit. So thankfully, they do have those high frequency switches in the back. So I switched them on and they sounded fine. Now, you may like bright speakers. If you do, you're gonna love these. But if you're like me and you like them to be a little bit more subdued, well, you have at least the option to tone it down a little bit. Now, another thing that I'm not too crazy about with these speakers is their low frequency response. I mean, the bass is there, it's decent, it's passable. It's just nothing to write home about. I felt like it lacked a little bit of definition, clarity, and power. So later on, you may want to check out that K10 subwoofer that Behringer sells. So should you get any of these two speakers? Well, if you're a DJ producer just starting out and you want to go past your cheap computer speakers or desktop speakers, I would recommend getting the K8. It's great value, it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, and it sounds pretty good for the price. Now, I wouldn't recommend going for the K5 just because it doesn't have as much power as the K8, and with something like a $50 difference between the two, I'd say just save up and go for the big boy. Now, you may want to even get the K10 subwoofer later on. If you want to DJ and you want to hear more bass while you're DJing, always a good thing, you can go ahead and do that. Of course, if you're going to be using it for producing, for music production, you may want to tone that down and recalibrate as you go along. Now, if you are an intermediate DJ producer, let's say you've been making music for a while now, for like a few months, even a few years, and you're even mixing your own tracks and you've got your own set of main speakers, I recommend getting the K5 as an alternate set of monitor speakers that you can check your mix on. Again, both of these speakers have really, really good mid-range response. So if you got something like this and it's something smaller than what you've already got at home in your studio, well, if you check your mix on this, you can hear if something's fighting in the mid-range, like if something's stepping on your vocal or your lead synth and something like that. So again, a very handy reference tool and very inexpensive, if you ask me. Something that, well, I would like to have in my own home studio. So that's it for this talk-through video of the Behringer Nekkst K8 and the Behringer Nekkst K5. Again, I've got an in-depth review of both of these speakers over at the website, digitaldjtips.com. The link is in the description box below. Please hit the thumbs up icon if you liked this video. Even if you didn't like it, please hit the thumbs up icon, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you are not a subscriber yet. My name is Joey. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.